For me, the most important thing in this round of bargaining is our sick leave plan, because I've seen the value of it. We've used it, and I couldn't imagine where we would be if we didn't have it.
As a public service employee, in the 15 years that I've been employed with the government, we already have given up some concessions, and having an accumulation of sick leave, I think, is just one benefit that we have that I think we should be able to maintain.
Nobody that I know would want the bargaining committee members to even try to even talk about sick leave at the bargaining table. To me, that's way on the, shouldn't even be on the burner. Should not even be brought up, not even talked about, not even, don't even go there.
You know, as an individual member and also as a union activist, that it's something we don't want, it's a place where we don't even want to go. So I would ask my bargaining team to, to make it very clear to the employer, and I think they have already, but to continue to make it clear that this is not something we're interested in even discussing.
My name is Harold Mark. I've been a PSAC agriculture member for 27 years. Tony Clement doesn't know what he's talking about. I've never seen abusive sick leave. You know, people use sick leave when they need it. I mean, the stats have been proven too. I don't know where he gets the figures that he's getting, but I mean, he's pulling them out of his hat. And of course, he's trying to garner like public interest, right? I mean, the government already thinks that we get way too much, but they should really look at the facts before they form an opinion. So the summer of, I guess, 2013, I went in for my usual PSA checkup. My dad was diagnosed with prostate cancer way back, and that's what he succumbed to in 2009. Sorry.
It's all right. Take all the time you need.
Okay, so my PSA number had risen from 3 to 6. So when my doctor phoned me and told me the news, I wasn't really surprised. And I always had that gut feeling that it would be passed on, right? So I was admitted in Rocky View Hospital in Calgary, where they robotically removed my prostate. And I was in the hospital for 3 days. And I was released, and basically I was off work for 7 weeks in total in recovery. With the sick leave, I never had to worry about anything. So that stress aspect was null and void, because that's just way out of it. So you got to relax and convalesce rather than have to worry about things. The only thing that I have to worry about is getting better, right? So peace of mind goes a lot of way for peace of body, and your healing process is a lot quicker.
My name is Stephanie Erb. I am a proud agriculture union member of PSAC, and I have been since 1999. Just to share my story of why sick leave has been very crucial for me. I, last year, probably in the spring, so 2014 spring, was diagnosed with cancer. Very unexpected, you know, so, and you know, it hits you quite hard.
My name is Ray Wilson. I've been a PSAC member for 25 years, 15 with Agriculture and Agri-Food Canada. When we first met Dr. Brigden, who is Stephanie's oncologist, you know, and he sort of laid out the plan going forward for, you know, the treatment that was going to be coming up. In you know, asking questions about work and what she did and so on and so forth, one of the very first questions he asked her was, you know, do you have a sick leave plan? And, you know, her response was yes. And then he came back with, do you know how much time you have? And she said, you know, ballparkish, you know, 6-7 months. And he said, well, you should plan to use all of it.
The chemotherapy that I had a lot of problems with it, unfortunately. I'm just, I guess, one of those outliers that Most women come through this type of chemotherapy fairly well. I did not, so I had lots of troubles. And so my initial plan during all this was to take probably a week off right before chemotherapy, have my treatment, stay home that week, and then work for the next 2 weeks, and then come back and start the cycle again. So I ended up having to take several months off. And so I took, let's see, August, September, October, 5 full months off. And then, so I was off from the beginning of August full time until the end of December, plus some time I took off before the surgery, or before the chemotherapy, which was in June when I had my surgery. And then I went back to work on a part-time basis from January until present. So now I'm almost full time. I'm probably at 90%.
Not having to worry about financial issues, again, was tremendous. We could be at the hospital for however long we needed to be there, knowing that our bills were still being paid. We weren't in fear of losing the house because we missed a mortgage payment. Not having to worry, and when you get into a situation like this, you've got so many other things now that take precedence.
So that part was painless. So it was good. So I took the time off. And I have now whittled down my sick leave to less than 150 hours when I started originally with 1,000. So, and that's, basically, and I'm sure I'll use more of it.
My name is Janish, and I've been a PSAC member for 15 years. My journey started it's May of 2014 after discovering a lump in my right breast. So after doctor's visits, mammogram, ultrasound, and biopsy, it was determined that I had stage 1 breast cancer. I went for a lumpectomy towards the end of July, and based on those pathology results, there is still a lot of precancerous tissue, so they recommended more surgery. On September 2nd, I had a mastectomy. And follow up with meetings with the oncologist, they recommended 12 weeks of chemotherapy. And they also recommended that I not work during that time if at all possible. Said it was my choice, but they believe that recovery would be faster and more positive for long-term results if I took the time off as necessary, not push myself, especially because when I was diagnosed, my daughter was just 2 years old. So I still had a lot of responsibilities at home and trying to focus on getting better. It was not having to worry about the financial aspect of getting paid sick leave, getting my regular wage while I'm off. It was just one less thing I had to worry about.
To hear Tony Clement, sitting in Ottawa at a media conference, telling me how Steph is abusing the system and it's costing so much money. I'm sitting here looking at her, and at this point in time, we're still rolling through all of the ramifications of what they've just told us. Obviously you think that, okay, we can get through this, but at the same time, because you haven't started treatment yet, you're dealing with cancer. People die from cancer. So, you've also got that thought in your head. And to hear the Treasury Board president telling me that we're abusing the system when we're sitting here looking at a situation where, yeah, she could possibly die.
Having an accumulation of sick leave, you never know what's going to happen to you. It's not something that I think a person thinks about day to day, that something might happen, that they might have to use it. But when the time comes and you do need to use it, is a blessing.
You can't give this up and get anything back that would come even remotely close to being as valuable.